Hello, today we are going to be graphing the sine and cosine functions using amplitude changes. Amplitude changes are caused by the number in front of the sine or cosine that is multiplied by it. That would be your A value. Um, a quick formula for your amplitude, it is the absolute value of A. So in this case, it would be the absolute value of 2 or 2. What the amplitude does, it affects the height of our graph. So in the last video, we saw that our sine graph only went up to 1. That would be the same for cosine. But when we multiply it by 2, our graph will now have a height of 2. It will go up 2, and it will go down 2. Now, I have all of our critical values already set up for us, and our table of values with the critical values already set up to save us a little bit of time. Let's see how we actually can work those out. So let me scroll up here to our table of values. Okay, so first, this was our x. This is our y component right here, and it was equal to 2 cosine of x. So that's what we're going to evaluate. Let's start at 0. So first thing I'm going to do there, I'm going to do 2 times the cosine of that critical point 0. Cosine of 0 is 1, so that's 2 times 1, giving us a value of 2. And we're going to work out every single critical point just like this. Okay, so the next one will be 2 times the cosine of pi over 2. That's that point right there. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0, so that works out to be 0. Then we're going to move up to pi. 2 cosine of pi. Cosine of pi is negative 1, so that's 2 times negative 1, or a negative 2. Moving on to 3 pi over 2. 2 times the cosine of 3 pi over 2 pi. Cosine of 3 pi over 2 is 0, so that'll be a 0. Let's put that right there. And then we'll do 2 times the cosine of 2 pi. The cosine of 2 pi is 1, so that's 2 times 1, or 2. Let's continue working them out going backwards. You may start to be recognizing a pattern here, but let's work them out just in case. So negative pi over 2. 2 times the cosine of negative pi over 2. Negative pi over 2 for cosine is 0, so that's 2 times 0. Giving us a value of 0. We'll do 2 times the cosine of negative pi. Cosine of negative pi is negative 1, so that'll give us a value of negative 2. 2 times the cosine of negative 3 pi over 2. That looked like a negative. That is, again, a 0 times 0. So 2 times 0 is 0. And we got one more point to work out. 2 times the cosine of negative 2 pi. That'll be 2 times 1, or 2. Alright, so again, there's lots of ways to work these out. You can use your table of values, you can use your unit circle, or you can plug it into a calculator. Just make sure you close the parentheses on the calculator. That's always a good practice to make sure you're getting exactly what you want and not something that the calculator is interpreting as what you want. Okay, so we got all of our critical points. Last thing to do is plot them, and we'll be done. So back up to our graph. Start off with the 0, 2. Then the pi over 2, 0. Then the pi negative 2. And the 3 pi over 2, 0. And the 2 pi 2. So this is our cosine graph, so we know we're going to curve down, curve under, and back up, and we'll be at the top of the mountain going over the top like such. And so that's one period right there. Let's go backwards. Negative pi over 2 is 0, then the negative 2, then the 0, and then the 2. So if we curve down, curve under, curve over. There you go. You can see this is 2 periods. This period's all in the positive, the down and up. This period's all in the negative, the down and up. It repeats itself 1 time, 2 times. That's what we're doing on our graphs. We're graphing them over 2 full periods. Well, that's our amplitude change. Instead of going up to 1, graph went up to 2, and it went down to -2. So there's our axis across that axis right there. There you have it.